Hi traders, welcome to our weekly top-down analysis. For this episode, we're beginning our analysis with Volatility 101S, and as always, we begin analyzing from the weekly time frame. Always before we have to start, uh, zoom in so you can clearly see the levels. So as you can see, price just reacted from this major supply zone right there, and then we are pushing from there, and then down here is our demand zone. Therefore, our bias is very clear from the weekly time frame. Price just stepped into this supply zone by forming clear equal highs. Therefore, we're going to be looking for selling opportunities from that level until this demand zone. So our bias is very clear. Moving over to the daily time frame. From the daily time frame, we have our internal break of structure right there. And then we have this break of structure. We have that break of structure, and then I'm seeing this break of structure as liquidity, and I'm going to be using the the order block for this break of structure, for the internal break of structure. So we have a break of structure and then the order block which caused the break of structure from the daily time frame. It is that order block right there. It is that order block right there. That's pretty much it from the daily time frame. Moving over to the 4 hours time frame. From the 4 hours, if we are to adjust, so we have this break of structure here. So we have that break of structure right there. And then our point of interest of the break of structure we are working with, it is this break of structure with this order block. So we have a break of structure right there. So our break of structure, and then the order block which caused that break of structure is right there. And then all these other blocks I'm seeing as liquidity that prices to sweep to go and tap us into that order block. Therefore, I'm expecting that our take profit will be at this level. Therefore, I'm expecting for price to clear this liquidity that is sitting here, because we do have equal highs and equal lows. So to clear that liquidity and then tap us into that order block, and then we can expect a move to the downside. And the strategy I'm trading is called the Smart Money Concept Strategy. And after this video, find time and learn the strategies available on this channel. So that's what I'm expecting on Volatility 101 is heading over to our entry time frame, adjusting to the 1 hour order block. Adjusting our order block to the 1 hour order block. That is what we are going to have. That is what we are going to have. And then if you want to enter this trade with me, price wise, you can see still far from the order block. Therefore, I'm just going to place a sell limit. So place a sell limit on Volatility 101S with your entry price at the order block. Stop loss slightly above the order block, and then take profit at this swing low. Therefore, if you want to enter this trade, go ahead and place your sell limit with your entry price at 1488.36, stop loss at 1603.07, and then our take profit at 1132.17, and always apply proper risk management. Therefore, this is the setup I'm going to be monitoring on volatility to see if it plays out. Moving over to volatility 100. From volatility 100, as we can see, we have our supply zone right there where price has been trading. However, that move is complete now. Price is at this demand zone, is at the weekly demand zone. And as if we zoom in, we can see price just formed a tweezer top, a tweezer bottom, that is a reversal candlestick pattern to indicate the buyers are stepping into this market, and we have a tweezer bottom at that level. Therefore, our bias is very clear from the weekly time frame. We are going to be looking for buying opportunities until that demand zone. Going over to the daily time frame. So from the daily time frame, if we are to zoom in, we can see that that is our break of structure. So we have a break of structure right there. And then the order block which caused the break of structure, it is that order block from the daily time frame. So it's that order block right there. And then our take profit for this trade, we are going to mark that order block because that might be a point of retracement. As you can see, it was mitigated and it dished out a move which did not complete. Now the buyer stepped in, therefore we will not need this order block anymore. Heading over to the 4 hours time frame, if we are to analyze the internal structures, we can see that there was a break of structure right there. Break of structure, and then the order block which caused the break of structure. It is that order block there where price stepped in and she dished out a full movement with take profit right there. And then we also have that break of structure. Also have that break of structure. And then the order block which caused that break of structure from the 4 hours time frame, it is that order block where price has just stepped in and dished out a full movement which with TP that was hit there. That one won't be of any use to us. But yes, this is how you analyze. Always follow the price so that you are not missing out important key levels. And then right there we have a break of structure that is looking interesting. We are going to be using now that one since it's our most recent break of structure. So we have a break of structure right there. And then the order block which caused the break of structure from the 4 hours time frame, it is that one. It looks like price has just stepped in into the 4 hour order block, but we'll keep on breaking down the chart. And then our take profit for this trade is going to be at that swing high. So you can still see we have pips that are remaining. And then moving over to the 1 hour, we can adjust our levels to the 1 hour time frame with our order block being there where price has just stepped in. Now this is the break of structure that we are going to be working with. then our order block. From there, 1 hour time frame, it is that order block. As you can see, this order block has not yet been mitigated. And I'm seeing that level as liquidity that prices to clear to go and tap into there, to go and tap into the order block. Now, if you want to enter this trade with me, our entry price is going to be at that order block. Stop loss slightly below the order block. And then our take profit is going to be at that swing high. So our coordinates for the buy limit, if you want to enter this trade with me, place a buy limit on volatility 100 with your stop loss at 677.97, entry price at 696.99, and then your take profit at 750.60, and our second profit will be at that level, second take profit at 806.71, and then third take profit at 874.29, and always apply proper risk management. Therefore, for this trade, I'm just waiting for price to sweep the liquidity that is seated there. Price to sweep the liquidity. For price to sweep the liquidity, tap us into this order block, and then get to our take profit. So this is what I'm anticipating to happen, as everything is aligning with my strategy. So that is what I'm going to be observing this week to see if it plays out on volatility 100. And then on step index, you have to minimize to see what step index has been doing. When we minimize, we can see step index, we've been in a downtrend since 2019. Therefore, our bias is very clear on step index. We are forming lower lows and lower highs, lower lows and lower highs, which is a downtrend. Therefore, we are going to be looking for selling opportunities on step index. But let's mark our level. We have a supply zone right there. And then down here, we have a demand zone which is forming. However, the overall bias on step index is bearish. Therefore, we are going to be looking for selling opportunities. Let's see if all the other blocks were mitigated as price was moving down. That was mitigated. This order block also mitigated. That order block also mitigated. And then the only order block which was not mitigated, it is this order block here, which is also our recent break of structure from the weekly time frame. So we have a break of structure right there. And then the order block which caused the break of structure, it is right there where price has just stepped in. Therefore, what we need to look out for at that order block is the reversal candlestick patterns. Let's analyze going to the daily time frame. From the daily time frame, our order block, it is that order block right there. Price is just stepped in, which is a very good indication for us. As we can see, price has just swept the liquidity that was seated there, and it has stepped into our order block, our area of interest. It stepped in for the first time from the tweezer top, and then it dished out a move, but it dropped break this swing low. Therefore, that trade is still valid until price comes and break this low. And then it went back in to tap in and we formed a bearish engulfing. Now, if we are to analyze this bullish move that is happening, so we have a break of structure right there. So we have a break of structure. And then moving over to the 4 hours, you can be able to see the price action clearly, where we have a break of structure right at that level, which was the last break of structure before price stepped into that supply zone. So we have a break of structure. So we have a break of structure right there. And then price failed to maintain structure, and then the seller stepped in at this point by breaking this higher low. We call that a change of character to indicate this bullish trend is coming to an end because the buyers could not maintain structure anymore. The sellers came in, so we have a change of character. And then the order block which caused the change of character, it is that order block right there where price has just stepped in. And we're forming a tweezer top formation on the 4 hours time frame. So we have that order block. Going over to our entry time frame, which is the 1 hour, we can adjust properly our break of structure to the 1 hour break of structure. So that was the last break of structure to the upside before price stepped into our supply zone, and then the change of character happened at this level where the buyers could not maintain structures. The sellers broke this higher low, and then the order block which caused this change of character, it is that order block right there. That is the one that we'll be targeting. Now we are waiting for price to go and clear the liquidity that is seated here, the trend line liquidity that is sitting here, clear that liquidity, and then tape us into that order block right there. And then we can expect a move to the downside. And then our take profit levels, our first take profit level will be at that level, second take profit at that level, third take profit that level, and then our fourth take profit at that level. Now, if you want to enter this trade with me, the coordinates of the sell limit, entry price at the order block, stop loss slightly above the order block. Now, if you want to enter the trade with me, you can go ahead and place a sell limit. Go ahead and place a sell limit on step index with your entry price at 8041.6, stop loss at 8061.6 with your take profit levels. The first take profit at 7960.2, second take profit at 7911.9, third take profit at 7867.8, fourth take profit at 7804.7, and always apply proper risk management. All right, traders, that's it for this episode. If you did find the episode helpful, please consider subscribing to the channel and become part of the family. And happy trading. See you next week.